Wow. It's really over, isn't it? I'll admit, it hasn't fully sunk in with me yet. This may not be the last of Xenoblade, but it is the end of a decade-long narrative, one whose mere existence could have never been envisioned. So, how appropriate for its finale to be just as equally unpredictable. Xenoblade 3: Future Redeemed. Although a prequel to the base game, there is shock to familiarity, starting with its party members. Cutting to the chase, Shulk and Rex are two former young heroes who both turned out to be DILFs. And I do mean fathers, because they happen to be joined by their children, Nicol and Glimmer. Nicol is practically baby Shulk, whereas Glimmer looks like Pyra, yet to my delight, acts way more like Mithra.
Nice going, smartass.
There is another blast from the past, being the mysterious A, but the main protagonist of Future Redeemed is a wholly original character, Matthew. Relax, Xenogears fans, I know there's references. Well, you might confuse him as the child of Rex and Lance, because Matthew is shonen anime to the max. If he was a few years younger, Rex haters would probably hate him, but for most, it'll be love at first sight. And this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for A. She makes for a tremendous foil. Matthew might be a reckless idiot, but he's her reckless idiot.
Even the most impassioned speeches may fail to persuade.
Sounds like loser talk.
I believe you said something to that effect.
Did not.
Did too. Like yesterday? I guess words aren't getting through to them. Hey? You said it.
Suffice to say, Monolith Soft has been knocking it out of the park when it comes to main characters, and that includes Nael, the missing sister that has sparked Matthew's adventure. Unfortunately, she may have to wait, because Future Redeemed's gameplay is one of, if not the pinnacle of the franchise. Let's start with the combat, since there's only a few differences from the base game. Instead of class arts and interlinks, we have Ouroboros powers and specials. The former is simply a variation of arts, where specials recapture the rush of Xenoblade 2. In this case, specials are potent, versatile attacks that reach their full potential on a launched enemy. These unity combos are performed by two characters at a time, so their effect will vary from pair to pair. Otherwise, it's pretty much good old Xenoblade 3. It is less unique with the omission of class changing and interlinks, but I'll be frank, I'm a sucker for combos. Most of all, I am relieved by how toned down the boss battles are. The previous bosses felt like damage sponges, and more often than not, were part of a gauntlet. Here, boss fights manage to be difficult and punishing while respecting the player's time. Though I still think chain attacks are too long and their song is imprinted on my brain, the larger issue was definitely addressed. However, Future Redeemed's top innovation is the incentive to explore. It's always been a strong asset in the franchise, and for that reason, I'm blown away by how many improvements were made, and they all stem from tying progression to exploration. Various rewards can be collected to enhance the party. Most common is a shared currency known as affinity points. It's typical to be compensated for new areas and side quests, but these points are also earned by conquering enemy territories, finding special loot, rescuing stragglers in need, and getting to know NPCs through community. Don't worry, unlike Torna, community is not mandatory, but you might get it done anyway. This game is designed to make completion as convenient and fun as possible. Now, to play devil's advocate, it might have gone too far, You could argue it's so streamlined that discovery is less natural and more of a huge checklist. It doesn't help that there's an over-the-top fanfare for every minor accomplishment. And most notably, several pathways are gatekept until you indulge in field crafting. It isn't as demanding as its iteration in Xenoblade 2, but in exchange, it's certainly less immersive. I mean, I'd rather be soaring with a wind blade than repair all these random ladders. And as cool as these ether slides are, they do make the world design feel like level design. Reminder, these quirks don't actually bother me, I just thought they were worth mentioning. The fact of the matter is, the gameplay loop is extremely addicting, and although the side quests can't match the hero quests, the quality is consistently high. Hell, for longtime Xenoblade fans, the superb fanservice is motivation on its own. There are some deep cuts. Future Redeemed is deservedly the first Xenoblade I want to 100%. The smaller scale is encouraging, but it's the content that warrants the highest of praise. With all that said, it's story time. I'm about to get into spoilers for Future Redeemed as well as every other Xenoblade game. If you'd like to avoid that, please click on the appropriate timestamp and I'll be back for the spoiler-free conclusion. You have until the end of this attack to make your decision.
I'm not done yet.
Alright, let's get the negative out of the way. I was flipping out about Colony 9 in Prison Tower, but how are you gonna have Moradane right there and not acknowledge it? Honestly, I'm salty there wasn't a single area dedicated to Xenoblade 2, despite how relevant its lore is. Ouroboros and life cycles are derived from blades, and all of these characters literally exist because of Rex. To be fair, you could say that's exactly why Xenoblade 1 needed more love. I do understand that side of it. I did enjoy the familial interactions, especially Rex and Glimmers, but in the end, I was a bit underwhelmed. It seems like the writers were trying to be more subtle about their families, but come on, their games are outright spoiled. We don't need to dance around the topic. Last but not least, I'll get some hate for this, but the post-credits scene was a buzzkill. Here I was thinking I'm about to see a proper epilogue, when in reality, I'm about to be stuck with a dozen Xenosaga fans freaking out for years over what might just be cute little references. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy for them. But imagine telling someone with a straight face, hey, if you want to fully enjoy Xenoblade 4, you're gonna have to play 6 other JRPGs. Potentially 7, maybe even 8. At least Kingdom Hearts has the benefits of well-priced collections and games that are, you know, clearly related. It's hard enough to convince others to play this one trilogy, because they're all massive games that are still $60. Nintendo, you're not helping! That's a rant for another day. The point is, references are welcomed, but personally, I'd rather Xenoblade stay Xenoblade. I'll admit, I was initially let down by the ending. I felt like there was a lot of epic fan service that was ultimately inconsequential. But similar to Xenoblade 2, the more I think about it, the more I love it. I had thought there were too many ambiguities for a finale, but being able to connect the dots has been significantly rewarding. If I'm not mistaken, Ontos is the foundation of origin, Numa is the source of Ouroboros, and Logos is implied to be the sword of the ends. The greatest revelations are the ones you never see coming, yet become obvious in hindsight. Not only are their color schemes the same, but their functions are reminiscent. Ontos and Origin have created worlds. Numa and Ouroboros fuse power and memories. Logos and the Sword are capable of destroying anything. All three are essential to Xenoblade 3, so to see them collide for this climax isn't fanservice, it is nothing short of poetic. Then, to have Shulk and Rex grant their children a normal lifespan before serving as the new Trinity processor? Oh, what a perfect way for them to go. I'll be making an in-depth spoiler discussion, so I'll leave you with two things. Number one, Rex steals the show, not because he's drastically changed, but because he's the same Rex at heart. Albeit, I was taken aback by how strict he was, but it makes sense. He doesn't want these kids to make the same mistakes as him. Number two is N. I did not expect him to be one of my favorite parts of the expansion. I'm not gonna lie, I had always seen him as a lesser version of Jin, and I still kind of think that, but how can you not be titillated when he saves the day? His character gains so much depth, and without that, this cheesy dialogue wouldn't have had me full of freaking beans.
We went over this. You got wax in your ears. If I can't, someone else will, down the line. Who knows? Maybe it'll even be you.
You're standing at a loss.
In the process of making this video, I got in the mood to rewatch the credits. And, man, I couldn't help but tear up. I think it's finally starting to sink in. Xenoblade will continue to live on, but if this really was the end, the series was done justice. Future Redeem succeeds in virtually every manner, arguably having the best gameplay and, may I claim objectively, the best final boss. It's not better than any of the main games, let's not be crazy now, but you couldn't ask for better DLC. It is absolutely a must-play for all the fans who are caught up with the lore. That I have no doubt in. As for those who aren't, well, I'd say hold off for now. Let this be the finish line. Because along the way are phenomenal games that could be life-changing by themselves. So even if you never make it to this future, let it be the kinds you know was worth trying. It's been a decade for me, and I've never regretted it once.
And you won't know.